Live from the Suncoast Bowling Center in Las Vegas, Nevada, Extra Frame is proud to present live coverage of the Stepladder Finals of the 2016 Suncoast PBA Senior U.S. Open. And we welcome you to Suncoast Bowling Center. It's Mike Jakubowski with PBA Hall of Famer Johnny Petraglia. John, it's a historic night for a lot of different reasons. We'll start at the top of the leaderboard. Pete Weber can do what no one has ever done before, and that's win 4 straight times on the PBA 50 Tour.
That's true. You know, whether it's the PBA 50 Tour or the regular tour, nobody's ever won 4 in a row. And, you know, you can say specific type games, although everybody bowled great that got there, finally emerged at the top. But Pete Weber doesn't fit into that mold because for the last 4 weeks, it doesn't matter what we're bowling on. You know, and Pete's been there. He has bowled tremendous, as evidence of what he did again here.
And Weber can go back-to-back here at the Senior U.S. Open. Yeah. Only 2 others have won it twice.
He, well, you know, right now, let's face it, you know, Pete's the best there is right now. He's, and he's bowling with such confidence right now. His flight got delayed out of St. Louis, so he had to wait till the next day, so he didn't get a chance to bowl in the practice session. And I watched him in the paddock drilling out a new bowling ball, and he goes, well, according to the pattern, this ball should work, but he really didn't know, and it took him a game, I guess, to figure it out and qualify. And I think he bowled 197 the first game, 240, and pretty much never looked back after that. Just great.
Weber will bowl for the title tonight, going for 4 in a row and back-to-back here at the Senior U.S. Open. In the number 2 slot is a gentleman making his PBA 50 debut. A couple of players have won in their debut. Most recently, Randy Peterson and Mike Scroggins. Brian Kretzer makes a move in the position round to jump into second.
What Brian Kretzer did, the final 6 games to get all the way to second, was incredible because the lanes really got funky tonight. There were pairs, matches. Mike Edwards beat Norm Duke 163, 158. I mean, there was a lot of bad pair out there. And Kretzer comes out 257, 279, 220, 268. Started with the first 7 or 8 the last game, and he just ripped the place apart. You know, if he had another block, he might be the leader. It's just great bowling on his part.
Also, history potential coming out of the number 3 slot tonight. Speaking of 3, Amleto Monacelli can win the Senior U.S. Open for the 3rd time. No one's ever done that.
Nobody's ever done that, right? And so we got a lot of history making things going on. And, you know, Amleto, he bowled pretty steady and threw the really good shots when he had to throw the good shots. That's what made him get there this week.
And then coming up out of the number 4 slide, here's somebody that could care less about anybody's history except his own.
Except his own, yeah. Harry Sullins. What was interesting about Harry this week is every once in a while you looked and you go, oh, Harry's dead. And then all of a sudden he would come back. I mean, he started out the day, I bowled him in the very first match of today, you know, 12 games ago. And he shot 160 on the nose and was all over the building. And then took him a couple of games to figure it out, and then he started killing him again. And he started out bad tonight, and then he made that big charge again to be there. So, you know, Harry can shoot 4 250s in a row at any time. You don't know what's coming there.
And you had a top 20 finish here. Explain the grind and the experience of going through 3 days of qualifying and then 2 days of match play.
Yeah, this was a really tough grind. It's the U.S. Open, and it's a back-to-back house. So, you know, the numbers weren't going to be too high, and the numbers, in a way, for a major were pretty perfect. It took about a 210 or a 211 average to make match play. For the senior check was about a 204 average. So they were competitive. There was a way to figure them out. For me, I bowled better on the low side of the house than I did on the high side. I actually had a 300 game on the low side. I'm very, very happy with my 18th place finish, but I probably could have finished a little bit higher if we didn't bowl everything on the high side, which I didn't bowl too well. And so today I shot decently for the day. I averaged about 210 for the day on the high side, and I'm happy with my performance. I really am.
Johnny's going to join us for the call. John Weber's getting him set. It's Harry Sullins versus Amleto Monacelli. History to be made tonight. We're so glad that you can watch it with us live on Extra Frame. Coming up, it's the Stepladder Finals of the Suncoast PBA Senior U.S. Open.
Great. Counts.
Here we go. Opening shot. Amleto Monacelli, the number 3 seed, calls his own number. He's going to start the match on the left lane going up against Sullins. And folks are filing in and taking their seats. And Monacelli will let the last of our guests find their way to the bleachers. Great house and great fan support gives us the opportunity to thank Mike Kaufman and everybody here at Suncoast. A great place to spend a week when you're in Las Vegas.
It is a great place. It's a really nice hotel. They treat us great here. Bowling center is beautiful, and you know, it's just nice to come to Vegas to bowl an event. No doubt about it.
All right, order has been restored. Stepladder final is underway. Opening shot belongs to PBA Hall of Famer Amleto Monacelli, gunning for his 3rd Senior U.S. Open title here tonight with a perfect shot.
Great shot. You know. I was watching Amleto bowl on the end pair. He was literally going 20-5. I mean, he's pretty wide open right now, but just as much wrist as he can get into it, and he's really doing a great job. I'm really interested in what Harry's going to be like these first couple of frames.
Well, he said he was deciding between his Storm Punch-Out and his Track 505C, and this is the 3rd top 4 for Sullins. He's never escaped beyond the opening match, and it's a high hit, and he avoids trouble, just a 6.
Yeah, Harry is a little bit of a slow starter, but then I think his whole tournament is this first game. If he can get by Amleto, he could be really, really tough. He just needs a few frames to loosen up.
Pose in the shuffle and the spare for Harry Sullins. He's looking for his 4th PBA 50 title, his 2nd major, and that's to go with his 5 titles on the PBA Tour. Harry recently inducted into the United States Bowling Congress Hall of Fame.
Yes, congratulations, Harry. It's a terrific honor to get into the USBC Hall of Fame. So, all the best to Harry. Well deserved.
Harry, in competition and match play, hit the deck the other day. He attributed it to a sole issue on his foot. He does have a little bit of sore back pain on the left side. That one comes across the nose, and he gets a 6 that time. So Harry dealing with a little bit of physical distress.
You know, right now it's a little short-armed the first couple of shots, a little bit of anxiety there. But like I said, if he by frames 3, 4, 5, if he's settled in, he may strike forever. But Amleto's going to be tough. Amleto's been bowling great. Amleto's been there just about every week.
Winner here goes on to face Brian Kretzer in the semifinal. Here's Monacelli in the 2nd. Ooh, avoids the 7-10.
The thing about this week, as we watch Amleto's 2nd shot here, I got out to about the 6th board, and yeah, he's lucky and unlucky at the same time. The scout could have taken out the 10. He could have had a strike. The pressure on hitting the pocket this week, because of the angle that you needed to get the ball there, if you miss the pocket, light or high, in a lot of cases it was a symmetrical design. You were either leaving the washout or double wood with the 10-pin, or you sucked out the middle. And so once you know that if I miss the pocket, I'm not going to have a spare to shoot at, it puts that much more pressure on you to hit the pocket.
Opening match at the Suncoast PBA Senior U.S. Open, presented by 900 Global. Mike Jakubowski with Hall of Famer Johnny Petraglia. Amleto Monacelli, the number 3 seed, taking on the number 4 seed, Harry Sullins. In our opening match, we're glad you're with us, live from Vegas. 3rd frame.
Amleto looks ready. He looks pretty sharp. Nice clean shots. Really letting it go. Now here's the key, right? I know it's very, very early, but here's the key. You've got to see if Harry trusts this one. Oh my God. Brian Kretzer dropped his bowling ball. Harry's up.
Kretzer down on the low end here has around 51 and 52. It's a split house with the concourse in the middle. And
there's Harry going, what? They're not tough enough? That was better.
Good
Okay.
pitch.
Good
The way
shot.
Harry assessed the lanes, he said he felt that the hook in the mid lane was present on 51, but he could freewheel it here on 52.
Well, that's pretty obvious. He trusted that one really well. He made a great shot, and that could loosen him up right away.
Classic Harry, just chatting with him prior to our final. He said, I know there's Hall of Famers and PBA Tour champions ahead of me, but somebody has to go through this field. Classic Sullins confidence.
Classic Sullins, yeah.
His third top four. He's looking to escape the opening match for the first time in that situation. Looking for the double, light, and he shakes out everything but the two.
Yeah, you could see that he, he sort of fanned that one a little bit as soon as he let it go. He was trying very hard to trust it, and it wasn't that bad a shot, but he, did fall off a little bit. Okay.
Sullins cleans up the spare. He's got a 9-pin advantage. Monacelli can take a lead with a strike and double up. Looking to become the first player in PBA history to win 3 U.S. Open titles on the senior circuit. Monacelli, a winner on the PBA Tour in Japan, earning his 20th PBA Tour title, joining that elite group with 20 or more career PBA titles. Blight.
Again.
And
Wow, same
flirted
thing.
with that 710 again.
Yeah. They threw that pretty good. I don't know if the rack is a little wide open or not, but the 10-pin should have been down on that shot. Looks like the rack is a touch wide, like one of the pins is off spot to create a little bit of a gap on that lane.
From the back and the side, you can just get a sense of the physical shape that Monacelli has always kept himself in over the years.
He's been very diligent about it. If your room in the motel is close to his, you always hear him outside, or you hear him running up and down the staircase. Sometimes there you open the door and there he is stretching in the middle of the hallway. And he's, I don't know if this is pressure or not, but with what's going on in Venezuela, he was telling me that most of his family is considering moving out, except for his father. He says his father's 84 and he's not leaving, but there's major issues with that big problem down there.
That's in his homeland of Venezuela. Also just in the news in advance of the Olympic Games in Brazil and Rio de Janeiro, another set of circumstances causing some issues.
Yeah, there is that could be major problems if you're an Olympic athlete and you considering having children, male or female. And that just that if you can contact that Zika virus, boy, that could change your entire life. It's tough for them to make that decision.
Monacelli is Dutch. Sullins owns the double, and Harry operating in the 5th frame. And that gets into the nose, 3-6.
3-6. I think Harry's got to start making shots right about now, even though he has a little bit of a lead. Amleto is going to get the 10 out on the right lane sooner or later.
Harry is a classic character. He always has a story. Always talking about the next round or the previous round, and he just he's such a student and will regale you at a moment's notice.
Oh, absolutely. One of the interesting things about Harry is when the LT48 came back eons ago, they came out with the Tommy Hudson LT51 also, which didn't do too well. Harry had 9 of them. He said, it's my favorite bowling ball. I had 9 of them with 9 different drillings. And it just, it's amazing.
Sullins is a bowler's bowler.
Yeah.
He's up by 7, 6 frame.
Pretty good. All right, that was better. He looked a little calmer there, a little better shot.
Monacelli, with a strike up, can take the lead from Sullins. Winner here goes on to face Brian Kretzer, making his PBA 50 national debut. And then the survivor of the stepladder will have a date with Destiny, Pete Weber, looking to win 4 straight and back-to-back here at the U.S. Open. But first, Monacelli, 6 frames, strike to take the lead.
I'm going to put myself on the block here. This is either flush or a solid 4.
And we'll go flush.
Well, it's pretty close to flush. That's good. That was a great shot. He didn't overjuice it or anything.
About 19 at the arrows.
Yeah, great shot there. Now this is a pair that hasn't been used during the qualifying, since the qualifying. So, you know, history of the pair is very hard to know. All they have is their practice shots. Oh,
and a flat 10.
A little flat 10. He's bowled an awful good game for being at 209.
And now Sullins knows on the bench he can step up and take the lead.
Okay, we'll see how Harry's thinking here, because 2 of his 3 shots have been through the nose. If it's a question of, do you get faked out and make a move, or do you realize that, yeah, I short-armed the 2 out of the 3, and I really don't have to move. I just got to throw it better.
Solid strike up, can take the lead here in our opening match.
That was better.
Mixer.
Whoa.
And the late 10 will stand. She spun and she moved, but she would not fall.
And that rack is a shade open. See that? That 3-pin looks like it's a little to the right, and that's what's causing that with that wide open rack. Somebody might leave a blowout 7-10 on that lane before the night's over. What do we got now?
Sullins must spare to remain 2 behind.
It's a real nice crowd here tonight that's watching this. It's tough to tell from that angle, but behind us and to the left there, a lot of people showed up. Great to see them here.
Eighth frame for Sullins, trailing by 2 pins.
Uh-oh. It's so important, especially that second shot, the one that Harry just threw here, to have that strike, to have that situation where your opponent knows that you can double. Once it's a spare, even though it's only a 4-pin game. Yeah, but if I get 2 marks, he's still working on a spare. It gives you more confidence than if he struck on that ball. And because of that, Amleto's, naturally every frame is important, but his frame, that's very important, is his 9th frame on the left lane. Because if he can put that foundation one in there and know that he controls his own destiny, it's a much, much different kind of game.
Monacelli up 4 pins. Getting late in our opening match. Brian Kretzer waits for the winner in the semifinal. 6 around the 10.
That was pure.
Watch the 6-pin.
Yeah, he's surprised at that one. He was positive that was a strike. Okay, so now, even though it's only a 3-pin game, what would probably go through Amleto right now is if I don't strike here, he can shut me out. If I do strike here, the only thing he can do is make my job tougher to win the game, but he can't put me away. So even though it's only the 9th frame, this is very, very key for Amleto. Oh, that's as good as it gets. That was
High
a great
flush,
shot.
pure hit from Monacelli. Extra look.
Yeah. Boy, he stayed with that well. Deep enough that he almost had a solid 7. Well, here's Harry's moment right now. A couple of good shots here, and he can put a lot of pressure on Amleto.
Each player clean with a double. Count favors Monacelli. 9th frame for Sullins.
Oh, change balls. Holy mackerel. How about that move?
That looks like the track 505C.
Wow.
With the pearl cover.
That's courage. Changing balls right there.
Mm.
And he threw it really well.
That's a heck of a time to pull out a new marble.
That's yeah, that takes guts. No doubt about it. Watch out. Oh, he went Brooklyn and struck.
Break.
Well, he already forced Amleto to throw the first one on that Brooklyn. That's
Move deeper with the new rock.
yeah.
Big break for Sullins. And a
I
re-rack.
got a feeling that there's a lot of Spanish syllables coming out of Amleto's mouth right about now.
But as you mentioned, Sullins can't put him away.
Can't put him away. But he sure can make it tough. He's already made it tough. He's got to throw the first one on a lane that Amleto's left a bunch of 10 pins.
Same way.
Same way, yep. Well, he's going to bowl 212. Amleto's going to need the first one. You could see why he didn't start with that ball. That ball's going much earlier than the other one. A count shouldn't be an issue. Amleto has to strike.
.212 on the board. Sullins goes back to talk to his tour roomie, the giant killer, Terry Metzner. Also Bob Spalding in the middle. Those two chat bowling all day.
And Bob Spalding could probably kill a giant in the parking lot.
Amleto Monacelli must strike to advance. Ten pin, Stan Sullins survives.
Boy, Amleto left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 10 pins. 4 of them on the right lane. Yeah, that little bit open rack got him. I don't know if he used up all of his re-racks or if they ever changed. But
so Sullins with the ball change in the 9th. Catches the off hit in the 10th and will advance to face Brian Kretzer. Sullins conversing with tour rep Tim Mack on his options going forward. And interesting in that Sullins is a free agent.
yes, he is, and he just left his 6-10 pin, Amleto. 6-10 pins. Wow.
That's the difference. So Sullins moves on and will face Brian Kretzer. There's Pete Weber. He'll get the winner of the semifinal, and Weber's got history on his mind. Stay with us. Live on Extra Frame when we return. Craig Elliott joins Johnny Petraglia. Semifinal match. Harry Sullins takes on Brian Kretzer next in Vegas.
Okay.
Oops. Almost cut John off. Happy camper. He buried the pocket. He left the pocket every time. He left 2 touchdowns. And then Harry crossed over because he hit that hook spot on 51. What can you do? Go ahead. Sorry, John. That ball ain't gonna work. Oh, he's on the wrong one.
And we're back as we get set here for the semifinal matches, Suncoast PBA Senior U.S. Open. Craig Elliott with Johnny Petraglia. We got a rookie on tour out here in the semifinal matches. First big event out here, Brian Kretzer.
Brian Kretzer had a tremendous 6-game block to make it to the stepladder. He just bowled great, and he could be really, really tough. He's got the part of Brian's game that's really unusual that the folks can watch is Brian has about a 20-board drift to the left, and then really uncorks it. He's got a lot of hand, and when he can really as he walks left get very deep and really get on it without that ball hooking early, he's very, very tough, and that's what happened here. While the rest of the field was struggling, he opened up to 57, to 79, to 20, to 68. He had the first 7 or 8 the last game. I mean, he just bowled great. So this should be interesting to see.
Yeah, very unique style indeed. He's got that big drift, kind of like your Brunswick teammate Tom Smallwood. They both do it quite well. They never have to worry about getting in front of a ball return. They just keep
That's very,
Branson in front of it and just skating left. So
that's a very good point. He's never up against the ball return because he can drift so far left.
and as you mentioned, the key to his game, the slow feet, the slow ball speed, he can just get around it and feed that ball out there, and he's able to create some angles that these other players haven't this week.
And I think that's what happened this last block. He created an angle that really nobody else could duplicate, and then made great shots. Both great.
PBA Tour champion winning back in 2010, Brian Kretzer, everyone. Congratulations again to the players. Harry, you're up. Let's give them a good show. Guys, good luck.
To fast forward, and if Kretzer is able to win the title, what does it mean for his career? I mean, he was on the PBA Tour for a long time. He bounced around. He was always in the mix. But to be out here, first event on a senior tour, if he can sneak out a win and then ultimately beat Pete, what is that going to mean for Brian?
Oh, it just everything. It's your very first senior event, and you come out and win a major right out of the gate and beat Pete Weber on top of it. Your confidence is so high. It's let me bowl every one that I can get in, and you know, he'll feel like you know, I don't have to look back.
Harry Sullins starting out this semifinal match.
And that was a good shot. Harry really was loose that time. He went back to a different bowling ball. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but a very nice shot there. That didn't carry.
Converts to spare nicely. Now Brian Kretzer in his PBA Senior Tour debut here at the Suncoast U.S. Open.
Now, for the folks to watch, Brian's going to probably stand on around 18 or 20 with his feet. And at the line, he's going to slide about, 35, 38, and then really uncork it. He gets an awful lot of wrist on the ball. All right, a little bit light, a little bit short his first time on Stepladder, his first time here. And
Looks like he might have just dropped it a touch, maybe.
Yeah, lost it just a little bit, but not bad. He'll be okay.
But where others with a low rev rate and faster speed, that's a 248.10. He's just a
Exactly.
248, so it's
Yeah.
a makeable spare.
See, Craig, when he has, with that drift that he has, your swing must fall into a tuck. If it stayed where it was, you would pull every bowling ball. So as the swing gets to the top of his backswing and it tucks in, all that can happen is you feed the ball to the right. And so once you can get that ball that clear that front half of the lane, you've taken half of the problem of a major pattern out of play. And that's what made him bowl so good. See, and then it tucks in, and then it goes to the right, and then it comes. There you go. And that's what he did this whole block, just like that.
Yeah, that drift is the key to Brian's
being able to feed from left to right as good as he does.
I haven't counted all the time, but does he take the same amount of steps every time? He seems like he's kind of a little bit different. That's kind of been his thing through his career.
He might take
Between
a couple of
6,
little
7, 8,
ones.
9,
Yeah,
somewhere in there.
Once he gets going, that's when you got to start counting. And he went back to this ball on that lane.
Wonder if he's going to throw two different balls on each, or a different ball on each lane.
I think he is, because this particular ball hooked way too much on the left lane, and certainly too early. But it looked pretty good on this lane.
And he said after practice, a lot more hooking mid lane on 51, so that's probably the reason he'll do two different balls there.
When you bowl on a tough condition, like in Long Island and certainly here at the Senior U.S. Open, topography plays a very, very important part. We've had big swings pair to pair, and some of the pairs we've had big swings lane to lane, how they played. So you had situations where Norm Duke lost to Mike Edwards on one particular pair, 163 to 158, and they both go to a different pair, and then they both bowl 230. And we're not really sure about this pair because it hasn't been used since qualifying rounds.
And I like that. He gives nobody the advantage. If you happen to catch a pair once or twice and your opponent doesn't, nobody's been in this pair since sometime yesterday.
51 for Harry really looks burnt in the heads. He's having trouble getting the ball through the front half of the lane on the left lane.
And he knew that coming in, made note of it before the matches started, but still having trouble trying to figure out the right way to get that ball down to the break point.
No problems with his spares, though. No open frames. He's making everything. In fact, there hasn't been an open on the show so far. I don't want to jinx anybody, but there was a million opens this week.
Yeah, some of the single pins proved elusive out there at times. If you just cut a touch of oil, the ball just skated right past him, or cut it short, it hooked right in front of him.
Here he comes.
He looked much more comfortable on that one at the release point.
He stuck a little bit at the line, but the ball reaction just looks terrific. And even though he did, the swing is still going to the right place.
You wouldn't think somebody that's been in the game as long as Kretzer would have the jitters. He's been on TV several times, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
And on the big stage, so he's got to have some butterflies going there.
Yeah, and it takes, and like you said, it takes a while. You don't have those 20-year-old nerves anymore, you know, once you hit 50. Oh boy, that, and I think in the intro we were talking about that. I said light or high. It was tough to just leave a spare, especially light though.
And he knows that at 30 feet that's trouble.
Now he could slow hook into this and make it, which he's probably going to try to do. I don't think he's going to go just for the wood. Yeah, see if that's going to grab. Nope. Well, actually, he did the right thing. I had forgot that Harry got a 7 count, so now he wants to keep it at a 4. If Harry strikes, he's got a 2-pin lead. If he doesn't strike, it's almost an even game. So getting the wood on that and not trying to make the split was the right thing to do.
And early on in the match, anything can happen. He knows Harry's struggling on lane 51.
Mm-hmm.
The key on 52 just seems to be who can get the 10-pin out the most.
Well, that ball was working on that lane. If Harry can figure out the left lane, he could be tough. Yeah, he hears the phone.
Now, Harry didn't get practice shots between the break, right? Only Kretzer?
Only Kretzer, right.
So his last shots were the end of the game, and then you go back to this different ball with the first 2 shots here.
Exactly. He could have practiced on the right-hand lane, but he couldn't practice on the pair that the match is on. So yeah, he switched back to this bowling ball. And everything is going high for him, hooking early on that lane. But to Harry's defense, just watching Kretzer, he knows that he can't trust it because if it doesn't, it seems like the ball wants to hang.
Yeah, if Kretzer 248 with that rev rate and that slower speed, Harry definitely knows he doesn't want to get it out there because it's not going to make it back.
All right. Oh, great shot. It's a very important spare.
Too close to call early on in this semifinal match at the Suncoast PBA Senior U.S. Open. Kretzer taking a re-rack.
Yeah, he doesn't want that real wide pocket. He's gets 2, so one might be a little wide, and if it gets a little bit worse, that's that. Then you're creating that blowout 7-10 zone if the pocket's too wide open.
You know, Matt Freiberg and I were talking and questioning earlier. It is 2 re-racks per game, but in a situation like you've seen on lane 52 that looks like there's a pin-off spot, what's the procedure if you get up there and you need a 3rd or 4th re-rack? Do you have to go to John Weber?
You have to go to John Weber, and the tournament director has to make the decision of this rack is so bad that it's unbowlable, and then very, very rarely the tournament director can give you a 3rd re-rack. See, now that ball was light enough that the 10-pin shouldn't even been there. Okay, a 2-pin game. Well, so far the lanes are playing like the U.S. Open. And, you know, there have been some good games, but folks, for 42 games, this is what we've been looking at. And that's what makes it tough. You win this title, you earned it. That's going to be high.
Little footwork issue for Kretzer. And he's sliding over in parts of the lane where there wasn't a lot of play, so it's going to be a little bit different where he's at as opposed to a little bit more to the right.
But that left lane is starting to hook earlier and earlier, and that's going to be the deciding factor more than likely in the title match. I think right about now, Amleto's got to be spitting, leaving 6 10-pins in that game. He bowled with every ball in the pocket.
That's the beauty of match playing head-to-head, though. You just got to beat your opponent at that given time. I mean, we'll see matches that'll be 279 to 278 or 158 to 160.
Right, it's match play. The score is irrelevant.
Just need to win by 1. Harry Sullins up now, trying to capitalize on open frame and another 310, back-to-back 310s. A little more makeable than Kretzer's, no 9-pin behind it. Now Harry's got both lanes hooking up on him.
Wow, made him back-to-back. That could be the deciding factor in this game, making baby splits back-to-back. It's important to throw strikes, but boy, it's important to make those spares. And to do this back-to-back is really crucial. And for kids out there or anybody else watching, if you want to know where spares are the name of the game, Harry's got 1 strike in 6 frames, and he's leading by 15 pins.
Well, strikes can win tournaments, but spares, or strikes can win matches, but spares are going to win tournaments. And we're going to see in this one right here, the spares definitely are going to give Harry Sullins a potential chance to win the tournament. But somebody on this grouping needs to start throwing a couple of strikes. A couple of 310s, a 3-9-10, a 2-4-8-10.
Harry moved in a little deeper. Got it back for a Wally.
He always has fun, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's that, wow, that was a light Wally too. These important frames for Brian here. This is important, the next frame is very important.
15-pin advantage for Harry Sullins through 6 frames. Kretzer up now in the 7th.
Well, there's one. Yeah, he's pretty much fine here. He's got to hit this left lane.
And that was only not just barely a board inside of his last shot over there.
Well, we'll see if it's. I really can't tell until he lets the ball go if he's moving deeper or he's going to just send it further right and hit it harder. It's hard to tell. He's deeper. Here it comes. Great shot. Boy, end of the heat. Great shot. Excuse me.
And he hits 10 right at that rangefinder, just like his last shot on 52. Back-to-back strikes for Kretzer now to jump right back in this match. Still down 15 against Harry Sullins, but Harry knows now that Kretzer is here to play.
He pulled that one. And now he's got 3, 6, 9, 10. This is a tough spare.
Yeah, 3, 6, 10's tough enough on this pattern. Add the 9 to it. It's a degree of difficulty is amplified now.
Did it. Now, Harry is up 5 pins going into the 9th frame. He's made the 3, 6, 9, 10, and 2 baby splits. And that's the reason he still has the lead. He may be a little bit lost on the first shot, but boy, his spare shooting's been impressive.
Clutch spare shooting for Harry Sullins. Struck his last time on lane 51. Let's see if he can do it again.
Oh, solid 9. Yeah, a little more speed. He tried to shove that one in there. That was pretty good.
Not the result he wanted, but much better shot than the last couple on that lane. Now he knows at least if he can figure out a way to advance, he has some sort of look on lane 51. Still some work yet to do. And Kretzer will have a chance to get up in the 9th and 10th and lock up this semifinal match.
Yeah, this is where, you know, I've been here for 5 days. I bowled 42 games all over the building, and now it comes down to this shot. This is what makes the Stepladder so good, that the rest of the week all comes down to this. Good trust. A little too light.
Maybe a little more speed on that shot. I think
yeah,
he was
a little
pretty
more
confident.
Speed. He got amped up a little
Yep.
bit, and looked like it was going to get there, and it hung just a little. Oh.
And a chop.
Well, now it's double to a miss. He's going to have to double to force Harry to mark. And he knew it as soon as he let it go. You saw that.
Yeah, 185 max score for Kretzer.
Wow. Looks like this one's going to be over. Harry's going to have to stay behind the foul line.
So if you're Pete Weber down to the left of us here watching this match, what are you thinking?
I think that Pete is going to come in here with tremendous amount of confidence, knowing that you know, nobody so far has been lined up, and the level that Pete is bowling at right now, I know he knows he's got an advantage.
So officially stay behind the foul line for Harry Sullins, and he will advance to bowl in the championship match against Pete Weber, looking for history. Back-to-back U.S. Open titles here at Suncoast and 4 consecutive PBA 50 Tour titles.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
And it is official.
Winner. It's official.
Next up, Harry Sullins versus Pete Weber for the title. Championship match will be called by Mike Jakubowski and Johnny Petraglia.
Craig, thanks very much. I enjoyed it.
Championship match up next.
Congratulations once again to Harry Sullins. It's not always perfect, but the important thing is the win. Congratulations, Harry. And congratulations to Brian Kretzer as well in his opening tournament on the PBA 50 Tour. Not a bad showing, finishing in third place. Congratulations, Brian. Pete is going to take 8 shots, 7 more, and we'll get the championship match underway for you. 7 more shots.
What's second place? 7 grand? What's first place? What's first? I know.
Now, I think we did late spots in Vegas. That wouldn't have won. Does that ever happen?
Oh shit. You never know.
Okay, Pete Weber is.
Blood in the water shot right
Yeah.
there. You know, when you really, really need it. Smell victory.
Dead flush, my Jake. Lot of room. Oh, yes. Never a doubt. Straight up. And a can opener at the fist.
And here we go. Pete Weber, you saw highlights of the previous 3 wins. He's trying for the 4th. No one's ever done that. Harry Sullins stands in the way.
Interesting, as hard as the left-hand lane has been playing, Pete has chosen to finish on the left-hand lane. He's having Harry start the match.
No matter what the situation,
No
Pete
matter.
always forces the opponent to start when he
Yep.
has that call to make. Opening shot title match belongs to Harry Sullins. Shakes out the rack and a strike. Very interesting. Weber, prior to this event, was unable to make the practice session due to weather in St. Louis, and he didn't take all of his practice shots here.
No, he looks ready. He's, like you said, I'm ready, and he's definitely been ready. That's for sure. It's been pretty amazing watching him bowl the last 4 weeks.
Going for 4 in a row and back-to-back here at the Senior U.S. Open. Opening shot from Weber.
No problem. You know, the thing that I've noticed in the last month, when you watch Pete, and if you take the top of his backswing and you draw a line to his target, and then where his follow-through goes, it's like a string. So that hand that opens, which eliminates the front half of the lane, and then his swing is so perfectly on line. That's why it seems like no matter what he's bowling on, he bowls great.
Weber in the second. High and 4-pin high.
Harry, you know, I know what Harry's thinking right away. It's just, wow, and now he didn't double, and I get a chance to get up on the easier of the 2 lanes, maybe grab an early lead here. Try and switch the momentum a little bit.
Spare for Weber. Big thanks to Craig Elliott for calling the semifinal. Craig with us all week for qualifying and match play. Will join us in Orange County at Fountain Bowl next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Also action on the PWBA Tour. The second round of qualifying in the PWBA Wichita Open is underway. You can watch that following our championship match. And then the Downham's PBA Jonesboro Open will get underway tomorrow at Jonesboro Bowling Center. PBA Tour title on the line beginning tomorrow. Now Sullins back on the right lane, trying to get in the way of the history of Pete Weber.
Yeah, and he's thinking, I got to hit the good lane here. I got to make a good shot right now, hit the good lane, and switch the momentum. He switched balls again.
That's in the nose, and he pays the price.
Pays the price. He got away from that ball that hooks. He figured, I can go back to this ball and sort of jam it up there, and it grabbed on him. He thought that was going to hold. You could tell just by his body language that he thought that was going to hold.
Open frame for Sullins. It's Mike Jakubowski with Hall of Famer Johnny Petraglia, top 20 finish here in the Senior U.S. Open. And the title match is now in the 3rd frame.
I think, in a way, that's just what Pete needed to come out of the gate without being down 10 or 20 pins, and I think he would have been happy through 3 frames for it to be even, and now he's up at the end of 2 frames. That could get him. It's not that he's not loose, but it just get him looser.
Sullins attempting to climb the ladder. He's defeated Amleto, Monacelli, and Brian Kretzer. 3rd frame against Weber. That's also in the nose. Avoids major trouble. 3 in the 6.
See, the one thing that is sort of showing up here is if you look at the finalists on the right side, you will notice that the bowlers, it seemed like the more that they could go around, the more they opened the lane up, the better that they bowled. Andrew Frawley was covering a lot of boards. Mike Coslin was covering a heck of a lot of boards. Norm Duke can cover boards when he has to, but he would rather not, and he really started to get in trouble today, sliding down the same with Mike Edwards. He was hanging in there, and then he started to slip. And the guys that could really get on it and cover boards did well. We can't put Pete in that equation. Right now, it doesn't matter what he's bowling on. He's just making such good shots.
Light. And is that just a 2?
I think it's just a 2. I don't think it's double wood. But this is a break already going by the week, that this ball, it's double wood, and he doesn't have the 10-pin with it. This is for everybody. 4 out of 5 times you hit there, you left the 2-8-10.
Got to look at the nice crowd here at Suncoast Bowling Center, and great fan support For all 5 days of the event, a nice pro-am that kicked things off here earlier in the week, and qualifying and match play. Big thanks to Mike Kaufman, everybody here for their continued support of the Suncoast PBA Senior U.S. Open presented by 900 Global.
Anytime.
Had a couple phones going off from time to time. Hope that's not mine. Fourth
I think
frame.
they would answer.
Fourth frame for Weber. He's up 10. Title match. He's gunning for 4 in a row.
Good stroke there. Yeah. Threw that really well.
Get an extra look. Look for the open hand of Pete Weber.
And that swing staying on line all the way.
There it is.
There it is. And look where the follow through goes. Right to the break point. Good shot there.
Light.
And it hung.
And just a 2 that time.
Yeah, he got it off his hand well that time. I thought it was going to make a move. And it didn't. That's why he's a little confused. Like I went to the straighter ball, and then it didn't make the move.
It seemed like he got around it much more than through the back of it. Maybe caused it to go just a touch long.
Well, something's got to happen pretty soon, because Harry's not going to win this game grinding it out. He's got to make a decision. He hasn't had a good ball reaction and got by through two matches. He's got to come up with some. Whether he moves deeper, whether he moves out further and tries to throw it harder. I don't know. The way they've been going, deeper and slower, seems to be the thing to do, which is what he pretty much did.
Oh, packed it, but a 9.
Solid 9. Great shot, though.
My impression of the semifinal was a grind out between Sullins and Kretzer, and then in my mind, the way Pete bowls, he's setting it over under. I didn't see Pete shooting less than 220 on this pair right now.
No, he just exactly. And the thing is, Pete's bowling ball is so clean through the front. That's another reason he's finishing on the left lane. He doesn't think it's hooking early.
So Sullins, knowing in the back of his mind, I got to shoot at least 220.
Yeah, I think he realizes that.
Because in Sullins' mind, you have to know that that man is not going to give you an opening.
Right.
That I have to perform. And now Weber, key shot here in the 5th, as he can double.
Is that going to make a move? Yes, it is.
Oh, I did it.
And finally, somebody got the 10 out on a hit that wasn't completely solid.
Again, hands, fingers straight up.
Look at that. See, that's a big one because he likes the left lane. Well, he could really put him in a deep hole right here.
It's so interesting. One man's treasure is another man's trash. Harry had it the right lane as a free wheel, and the left lane was a tricky lane, and Pete can navigate in the opposite direction.
Yep.
Can really step on the gas here. 6th frame.
That might hook early. It did.
Ooh,
oh, and there's a
the
bad
6
break.
Kicks, and just the 9-10, a split. A baby one.
Yeah, that time hand got over the top just a little bit, just enough. It just shows you how tough they are. If let's see, looks pretty good. Nope.
Open frame.
Harry is back in the game, amazingly. It's
And just as you think Weber won't give you an opening, the 6 drops in front of the 9-10, and it's 114 through 6 for Weber. And Harry finds himself down just 8 pins. Sullins would love to make a statement and double
Right
here.
now, exactly.
And he'll start on his favorite of the pair, the right lane, 6th frame. And Brooklyn.
Oh, God. Right.
Brooklyn got him around Monacelli.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not sure where he wants to play this pair now, but that was it. The one thing, though, that Harry has done through 2.5 games, other than that 4-7-10 split, he's made everything he shot at, and that's really been the defining factor. And so far, the person that has bowled the best on the show lost the opening match. That's because Amleto never missed the pocket, left 6-10 pins.
Sullins trails by 8, and he can take the lead with a double and parlay off the crossover hit. Championship match, Suncoast PBA Senior US Open, and the final frames of our championship match.
Did he throw it hard enough? Oh,
7-pin stands.
that's a terrible break because he did everything he had to do that time, and that was. Oh, look at that. The 5-pin went behind the 10. That's a bad break. That's really a bad break. The ball actually hit too well to send the 5 into the 7. It actually went behind the 7.
Spare for Harry. And another look at the 5-pin, not knocking the 7. That is the difference. Here's Weber after the open frame. Struck back here in the 5th.
There you go.
Folds him back.
Okay. Now he's got to make a good shot on the lane that he wants to finish on. About 23, out to about 7.
That is high flush.
Yep. This lane's grabbing a little sooner than that. He's a little bit deeper. And that's the thing that making this lane tough. The deeper you move doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get down the lane longer. It might even hook earlier if you're getting deeper. So that's what makes the lane even tougher.
Weber to extend his lead, 8th frame.
Oh, good trust. Oh.
Oh my!
That was a tremendous shot. That was pure trust.
I think everyone in the building knows that if Sullins doesn't strike on the next 2 shots, it's going to be tough to beat Weber.
Yeah, especially, well, he really needs to bolt in him, like you said. But that one in the 9th is an absolute must. Well, there's one. Boy, he's that blowout 7 was critical right there. It shows up now once he's thrown this one. That was a great shot right there.
USBC Hall of Famer, newly minted, 5-time winner on the PBA Tour, 3 senior titles with a major, looking for his 4th and 2nd. Weber has history on his mind, and now we enter the foundation frame.
So let's project this out. If Harry strikes here, then Weber knows he has to throw 2 strikes or he could be shut out. And so this is the critical part of the match. If he doesn't strike, Weber knows he needs 2 marks.
Left from the get-go and
right
a
away.
10-pin. This was the lane that he knew had the hook in the mid lane.
So Pete needs spare, and it's over, or strike and count. I hope as we go into the 9th frame here, I hope the folks at home that are watching appreciate how tough these lanes are. You know, the one thing about our sport is the toughness is invisible. It's not like golf. And these are really, really difficult. Well, it's supposed to be difficult. It's the U.S. Open.
39-foot pattern, little more than a 2-to-1 ratio. Now Weber, destiny in his hands for his 4th straight and back-to-back at the Senior U.S. Open. 9th frame. Worked it out.
You know, there's great and greatness. They're different, and the 2 best shots that Pete has made in this game are in the 8th and 9th frame when he really had to have them. And it's the mark of a champion. Now throw this down the middle of the lane, play it safe, and strike. That figures.
Johnny, Pete Weber has 7 titles with the name-bearing U.S. Open, 5 on the National Tour,
and 2
and
here.
now back-to-back 2 Senior. Weber has done it 4 in a row on the PBA 50
Just
Tour.
absolutely incredible, really is.
Runner-up finish for the legend Harry Sullins, but the day, the night, the month, and the year belongs to Hall of Famer Pete Weber, Senior U.S. Open champion. Johnny, thanks for being along to call it.
It was great being here, great watching, and let's face it, you know, the tournament leader, you know, he deserved to win. He bowled absolutely great. Congratulations to Pete, and congratulations to Harry on a great week.
And a 223 gets the job done. We're going to go down laneside and talk to our champion, Pete Weber.
All right, thanks for inviting me again.
Thanks, John.
Congratulations to both players, Harry Sullins and Pete Weber. Harry, congratulations to you. Nice tournament, picking up $6,000. I don't know what's better. Back-to-back championships here at the Suncoast and the Suncoast PBA Senior U.S. Open. He joins his friends and Monacelli, Tom Baker, and Wayne Webb as the only players to do that. Or the 4 championships in a row. Not sure, maybe Mike J can sort it out for us. Come on out here, Mike J. Oh, you want this one?
We'll do it over here in front of a worldwide live audience on Extra Frame. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 2016 Suncoast PBA Senior U.S. Open. An unprecedented day, month, and year. 4 titles in succession and back-to-back. This man now has 7 titles with the words United States Open behind them, 5 on the National Tour, and 2 Senior U.S. Open titles. Ladies and gentlemen, Hall of Famer Pete Weber. Pete, an amazing run, and you got it done here with a 223 on what looked to be a tougher scoring pair than what we would have thought going into this title match.
Well, first things first, Mike. Got to thank Storm for making the best bowling balls in the world for me to compete with. Thank you very much. As far as the pair, it played very similar to today. It did, you know, maybe a little more hooked because of the 4 guys on the one pair, but still, you know, it played very close. And Timmy made sure that I kept aggressive on the left lane, which I had my problems. But yeah, I'm kind of almost speechless myself.
3 pure shots, actually 4 from the 7th through the 10th. And the one thing we notice is the trademark fingers straight up in the air. We saw it, all 4 of those shots.
If I feel that, if my hand is like this when I let the ball go and in my follow through, then I've known I've thrown a really, really good shot. It's up for grabs. I know I'm going to hit the pocket. Fortunate for me, I hit the pocket and struck. So, and my hat's off to Harry Sullins. He bowled great all week long. Amleto and Brian Kretzer also. What great champions they are. I can't tip my hat to them enough.
It's all about Pete Weber right now. It's an amazing run. Modesty aside, no one has ever won 4 in a row on the senior circuit. You've just done it. And to go back-to-back here at the Senior U.S. Open, is this the best you've ever bowled?
As of right now, yes. This is the best I've thrown the ball in my entire 36-year career out here on the PBA. No, I'm not going home for a month. But, I was bowling good at the beginning of the year when my hip and back started hurting and I had to withdraw from those first 3 tournaments of the year. But I'll tell you what, right now, I feel like I'm throwing the ball just as good now as I did then, but I'm pain-free, and that makes it a lot easier to bowl. Trust me, it makes it a lot easier to bowl.
I maybe needed to have my memory refreshed, but you have won a U.S. Open at Fountain Valley, have you not?
Well, yes, I did win in Fountain Valley, but it was at the convention center. The U.S. Open, yes, and it was at the convention center. But yes, I have won in Fountain Valley.
And so many people watching live on Extra Frame, and I know there's so many people special to you, and just an opportunity to just take it in and say thanks. Who comes to mind?
Well, first of all, Tracy, hi. I love you. I miss you. Second, Kenny Seymour, what's happening? Can't wait to see you, little man. Hope you're doing good. And then to Storm, man, like I say, they make the best bowling balls in the world for me to compete with, and I have no complaints about the way that my 20-year career with Storm has gone. I hope I got 20 more in me. It's just so fun, and like I always say, winning never gets old. It just doesn't get old.
Extra Frame fans, stick around for the check and trophy presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your tremendous support. Big thanks to Mike Kaufman and everyone here at Suncoast Bowling Center. It is my pleasure to present back-to-back Suncoast PBA Senior U.S. Open champion, Pete Weber.